Hey guys, Mr. Collier here today, and we're working on slopes.
Welcome back, everybody. We got a nice introduction there. Thank you. We are talking about slope. The very first day, we just finished kind of some different graphing stuff, domain and range. We're on the slopes. This should be an easy day. We should remember most of this stuff from middle school. We've got slope, which is the change in y over the change in x, something you probably heard before. Slope, a lot of times you'll hear in math, slope is all about change, okay? Slope is about how your graph changes over time, okay? I'm going to go ahead and give a little highlighter circle on this part in the left. 99% of the stuff we're going to talk about today is in this box right here, okay? So let's talk about everything in this box. The first thing in the box is this letter M, all right? It's weird, but M is the letter for slope. Nobody really knows why, all right? Slope starts with an S. Why don't we use S? I don't know. We don't. We use M, okay? The people think that maybe we use M because of the word mountain, because mountains, mountains have slope.
Or they just need a word.
Right, but at some point you just need a letter, right? And S is a letter for some other things like speed, in physics and this and that. But
wait, I remember this.
M is the letter. So for the rest of the year, when you see that letter M, you're thinking slope. We've got rise over run. I do want to put the letter X and Y. Which one is talking about rise? Is that the X or the Y?
Y.
The Y. So that's important. The Y's are going on top. The X's are going on bottom. That's the first thing we could write down here, a Y and an X. Okay? Now, we've got the 4 types of slope. Okay? And the person who made these notes, they were feeling kind of gnarly, I guess, right? They drew a cool little skateboard person. The reality is, I'm not much of a skateboarder, all right? I'm not much of a skateboarder. I like skateboard. I think skateboard is really cool, but I was really good at soccer, and I was always scared that if I skateboarded, I would break both my legs in half. I was really scared. So, I didn't skateboard, okay? But what I like, and I'm sure some of you guys will agree with me, what I like is money.
No, I don't like money.
Right? And fair enough. If you don't like money, I'll tell you after class how you can give it all to me, and we'll be just great. You'll be happy, I'll be happy, we'll all be happy. I like money. And so when I think about these things, I always think about it like money. So let's imagine this. Imagine you look at your bank account, and it is going in this direction. And it is going up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing, right? If you look at this picture right here and your bank account is going up, you better be happy, right? Now, let's look at the other one. Imagine you open up the Cash app or something, I don't know, and this is what you got. You got a graph of your money, and it's going down. Is that good or bad?
Maybe.
Obviously, that's going to be bad, right? Now, you're probably thinking, this is kind of easy so far, right? Money goes up, that's a good thing. Money goes down, that's a bad thing. Pretty much. This is a pretty easy day, okay? Now, what about this one? If you look at your bank account and it is completely straight across,
No.
Is it going up?
No.
Is it going down?
No.
Right. You're not losing money. You're not gaining money. It's just straight up zero. I'm going to use the word flat, because I always like to think about it like flat, right? In this case scenario, you don't have a job because you're not making any money, but you also must be living for free because you're not spending any money either, okay? Not many people live their life like this. You're probably either going to be making money or losing money. Now, the last one is undefined, and the truth is that the undefined graph is literally called undefined because it's really weird. All right, I'm going to put a question mark here. The undefined graph, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? If you look at your bank account and all you see is a straight up and down line, you're probably thinking, what the heck happened here, right? If it's straight up, I guess that's good, but it also looks like it's straight down, and that's not good either. Undefined is just weird. That's why we call it undefined. I'm going to write the word cliff. You know, like the cliff of a mountain or the cliff of an edge. That's the word that I like to use. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you one more thing. And if you like silly, funny, goofy things, right? I know a couple guys in here, they always love the silly, funny, goofy stuff. I get it, right? Here's a silly, goofy way to remember this stuff. Okay? If you want, you can flip over the paper. This isn't really my kind of thing, but I know how you guys are. Some of us are freshmen that act like sixth graders, so here we go. Check this out. I got a nice little face here, all right? And on my face, I'm going to give this person a nose and a mouth. And we're going to have Slope Man. Yeah, you might have seen Slope Man before. Again, it's kind of like a middle school thing, right? I'm going to go ahead and give this person 2 eyes. And this is why I think Slope Man's kind of freaky, because those eyes are weird. I don't like those eyes. And then I'm going to give him 2 eyebrows. Or her, right? Maybe it's Slope Woman, right? Look. It's a slope they, Kaya. Let's not say that. Okay, here we go. So we've got this slope person, whoever they are, who really cares? The reason that we draw this is because this nose in the middle tells you that a up and down line, and this U, guess what this U stands for?
Narrow.
Undefined, right? Straight up and down, undefined. Then we've got a flat smile. They're not very happy. And guess what these little circles on the sides? They're zeros. That's a zero slope. Then you got the eyebrow. And guess what type of slope that is? Positive. And then you got this eyebrow. Guess what kind of slope that is? Negative. There you go. There's a slope person. Honestly, if you can remember how to draw it, it's pretty good because it literally tells you all 4 different types that fast. Now, I don't really like slope person. They kind of freak me out. Those eyes scare me. But if you want to go for it, go for it. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the bottom 6. First thing we're going to do, we're almost done with the notes, I promise. We're going to label this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as either positive, negative, 0, or undefined. So if I look at number 1 and I'm looking at my bank account and that bank account's going, is that a positive thing or a negative thing? I agree with you. That's looking positive. My money is going up. I am bankrolling. I'm feeling good. And what do you feel about number 2? Is that a positive bank account or a negative bank account? That's a negative bank account. I agree. Because your money is going down. So if you're thinking to yourself, Mr. Collier, when are we ever going to use this? I'll tell you right now. People who keep track of their money, people who make a lot of money, all they do is look at graphs like this all day long. Okay. If you are feeling so able, I will now give you 90 seconds to try to label 3, 4, and if you're feeling really good, 5 and 6. See if you can label 3, 4, 5, 6 as either positive, negative, or even maybe 0 undefined. You got 70 seconds left. Keep it going. You got them labeled? Ooh. You okay? We able to label these? Nice, nice, nice. We got positives, negatives. How we doing? Cool. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Nice, 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 nice. We're halfway through our timer. What do we got? Perfect. Looks good. Looks good. You got one of those right, one of those wrong.
No way.
You got it. You got it. Ooh.
Is this right?
Oh. Each at math.
I know math.
What's that?
Oh.
No, this was wrong. Okay, here we go. Let's start. Oh. Yes, good catch. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I will literally show you the answers in 2 seconds. So if you want to know, here you go. For number 3, if my money is starting up high and it is going down, that is not a good thing. Number 3 is negative. Then we're gonna look at number 2. For number 2, or I guess we're on to number 4 here. Number 4, the steeper the graph, right? The more steep that it gets, the more mistakes in Algebra 1. That's normally how it goes. Number 4 is positive. I'm making a lot of money, right? In 3 days, I went from the bottom all the way to the top. I'm rich, okay? Now, 5 and 6 is when things gets a little spicy. 5 is going straight across. 6 is going straight down. I agree with you. 5 looks flat to me. It's flat. Look at the floor. What is the slope of the floor? 0, right? When you walk around school, you're not walking uphill. You're just walking flat, right? Obviously, we know about the stairs, blah, 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 cool. But when you're walking around the normal school, if you're walking around the classroom, it's flat. We should all be very good at identifying 0 slope. Because the reality is, if you're in my classroom right now and we live in Chesapeake, it's flat everywhere. There's no hills in this whole town. All right. Number 6, we have an up and down graph, a very weird one. If I'm looking at this, I don't know if my money's doing good or bad. This is our undefined. Okay, now we're almost done with the notes. The reality is, imagine this, okay? You're going to go, and these are 6 different people that you could give your money to, and they could invest it for you, right? If you give your money to person number 1, they're going to make some money for you, right? If you give your money to person number 2, what's going to happen?
They're gonna bankrupt.
You're going to lose money. If you give your money to number 3, what's going to?
They're gonna really make it.
You're going to lose money. If you give your money to number 4, what's going to happen? You're you're cashing out. Number 5, that person probably just fell asleep. And they're going to give you the same amount of money back. Number 6, I don't know, probably jail. This person is being weird. They might be from another dimension. So, here's the real question here, okay? If I give my money to person number 1, are they going to make me exactly the same amount as person number 4?
No.
No. So just because we know they're positive, we still don't know exactly how positive, okay? We need a number. That's where this comes in, okay? So here's what we're going to do. The hardest thing that you have to do today is count to 7. And guess what? We've been there for about a week. I've been saying that for a while now, okay? You want to find the 2 dots. I found them right there. And we're going to make 2 counting numbers, okay? We're going to count the rise, and then we're going to count the run. The rising is how much you go up, and the run is how much you go to the side. Now, here is my advice. This is the only Mr. Collier specific advice that I got for you, and I think it's a good one, all right? I always start at the bottom. Okay, I always start at the bottom. So, if I look at these 2 points, and I call these 2 points A and B, the reality is you can start wherever you want. Okay? You could start with A and try to get to B, or you could start with B and try to get to A. But students who start with A average a better score than students who start with B. Okay? So, I always start at the bottom. I'm going to start at A. How much do I have to go up? How much do I have to rise? I have to rise just 1. My rise equals 1. How much do I have to run to the side? 1, 2. I agree with you. I have to run 2 to the side. I got to count up, count to the side, and then guess what? That's it. Count up, count to the side. So the exact slope of person number 1 is 1/2. Okay? Let's try number 2. We're going to need rise over run. You are going to hear your teacher say rise over run another 765 times. I got bad news for you. Rise over run, rise over run, rise over run. So you better be ready. Rise over run, because it's going to happen a whole lot. Rise over run. How much do we have to rise? Now, before we start, if I look at these 2 dots and I label them with A and B, which one do you think I'm going to start with? I'm going to start with B, because I always start at the bottom. I always start at that low dot. That way, I always count up. Whenever students make mistakes, it's normally because they start and they count down. And that counting down always messes kids up. So when I start on the low number and I always go up, I'm going to be in good shape. So here we go. With B, I'm counting up 1, up 2. And now it is time to get the run. How much do I have to run? I have to run 1, 2. Okay. Now, we have 30 seconds of Mr. Collier talking, and then we've learned everything for the whole day. And the reality is you probably already know this stuff, so maybe you already know everything.
I don't.
But we have 2 things to talk about. Number 1, when you count left,
You put negative.
right, you see this giant word negative we got here? Guess what? The slope is supposed to be negative, right? Left means negative. So I'm going to put, we went up 2, we went left 2, okay? So that was the first thing. And here's the second thing. I don't know if you noticed this on your paper, but there is a all caps person screaming at you right on top of these graphs. Simplify todas las fracciones. Simplify all the fractions. Okay, and if you don't do that, you are wrong. Here's what happens every year. A kid raises their hand on Friday. They say, Mr. Collier, I don't know what's up, dog, but I just got a 30 on the quiz. And I say, you got a 30 on the quiz? I thought you were good at this. And they're like, yeah, I'm pretty good, but I got a 30. And I check their answers, and they did not simplify their fractions. If you don't simplify the fractions, you are out of luck.
Or
You're
it's supposed to
just
be 1 over negative
wrong.
1.
So here's what we need to do. We're going to write M equals. I told you needed Desmos today. Here's what you got to do. Go to Desmos, type it in. Fraction 2 on top of negative 2. That is the answer.
You put negative 1.
Oh! Woo! Come on, Mr. Collier. I was already thinking ahead to the answer, which is negative 1. Sometimes when you do something for the 3rd time in a single day, you just start going a little crazy. So there we go, negative 1. That is the answer. If your answer is anything besides negative 1, you are wrong. So look up what I got on my paper. I got M equals negative 1. That's it. So today, you got to count, type it in. You'll be good to go. We're going to do these last 4 questions, and we're going to go about 3 times as fast as we've been going so far. We're on number 3. Here we go again. Rise over run. How much do we need to rise?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right. We're going to rise up 5. How much are we going to run?
4. Negative 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. And is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Should be negative. Now I go to Desmos and I type it in. Fraction 5 on the bottom. Negative 4. I get a decimal. What do I press?
Click the box.
Click this little fraction box. That is the answer. For this one, that's all you got, okay? Now, the one thing that is different here is that Desmos moved the negative out of the bottom into out front, okay? So that is a little bit different. M equals negative 5/4. We talked about this before, but we don't really like negatives on the bottom.
If it has a negative, that means it's gonna be the run that's negative, right?
Yep. Well, because we always start at the bottom one, yes. You're always going to go up, positive, and then maybe left, negative.
Okay.
Left, negative. If you start that first dot, you're going to end up going down, which is negative. And that's where people mess up, because they got negatives and they get confused. So, anyways, here we go. I said we go fast. Let's go fast. We're almost done. Number 4, find your 2 dots. I always like to start at the bottom dot. So how much do I have to go up? 2, 3, 4. I agree with you. Rise over run. The top is 4. The rise is 4. How much do I have to run?
1.
Only 1. Is that a positive one or a negative one? Positive. I go to Desmos. Fraction 4/1. What do we get?
4.
Just a straight up 4. Our M is M equals 1. Nope. I am just going crazy. What is the matter with me? M equals 4. Okay, M equals 4. We've only got 2 left. Now these 2 questions are the weirdos, right? We got the flat graph, we got the undefined graph. Let me prove it to you, right? For graph number 5, how much do we have to rise? 0. So that means our top number should be 0. How much do we have to run? 1. And if I go to Desmos and I type in 0/1, what does it say? 0. So I told you it's going to be 0. It was 0. There we go. We knew it. M equals 0. Now what about this last one, right? Because it says undefined. Surely Desmos doesn't say undefined.
Well, M equals undefined.
How much do we have to go up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise equals 5. How much do we have to run? 0. And what does it say when we type 5 divided by 0?
Undefined.
Exactly what we thought. Undefined. Desmos is the best. M equals undefined. Okay, you got 4 different types of slope. We got slope dude, skateboarder guy, but honestly, when it comes to me, I like money. All right, my money's going up, my money's going down, my money's not changing. What the heck is going on here? Remember, the flat ground. When you're driving on a flat road, what's the slope? 0. Right? We should get that one. Honestly, it always blows my mind when people miss this question, because it's like you walk on the flat ground literally your whole life.
M will always
So how
equal
are we
0
missing that one?
if it's
If it's flat, you're right. M will always equal 0. Okay, that's it for the notes.